Hi, big splash versus small splash. Who wins the advertising war and saves thousands of dollars? Hi, everybody. My name is Stan. I'm with BossMakers Academy. I have been there, done that. I used to run 33 ads every month in industry publications. Believe me, that's a lot of money. And the minimum ad was a quarter page, third page, sometimes even a half a page. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on advertising, and I wanted to know how to make every ad count. Every penny had to count. If you want to skip over the story and learn how to advertise and save money, just fast forward. So, let's find out if you're a big splash or a small splash person. I'm going to tell you a story that a close friend of mine who was in the advertising industry, who actually, his father was in the advertising industry, so he knew a lot. Let's call him Doug. So, I'm at an industry lunch, and Doug is going to speak. And obviously, since he's in advertising and most of us are buying our ad space from him, we're curious what an insider has to say. Here is his story. A man carried a big boulder out to the end of a dock and promotes he's going to throw this big boulder into the lake and make a big splash. So the whole town gathers around him to watch. And on the appointed day and the time, he throws the boulder into the lake and makes a big splash. People talk about it for days. As time marches on, people forget. Then you have the man that promotes he is going to throw pebbles into the lake one at a time. And he has thousands of pebbles. So the whole town gathers around him to watch. At the appointed day, he starts throwing the pebbles into the lake, which makes a tiny splash. But he keeps on throwing pebbles. People watch and then get bored and walk away. But every time they pass by the lake, he is still out there throwing pebbles and throwing pebbles. They start to talk about how he is still out there and not about the tiny splashes. Eventually, no one remembers the man that threw the huge boulder and is now replaced by the man throwing the pebbles. Remember, business is forever, and you are in it forever. So unless you want to be a big one-splash person, you should throw pebbles. I learned this from my friend Doug, and as I said before, he owned a magazine that I used to advertise in. Now, he told me that he only wanted my business if I advertised with him regularly. I didn't care how small my ad was or if it was just black and white. He just wanted continual business. And that business might have cost less. I might have spent less on smaller ads than I would have spent on a 4-color, full-page, full-bleed ad. It didn't matter. He was happy. Now, I'm going to give you a secret sauce idea that nobody else has, I promise you. You're running ads, listen to this idea, because this is like worth its weight in gold. This is like continuing to throw big boulders into the lake. And I kid you not, I'm the only person in all the magazines I advertised in that ever had this idea. So, buckle up and lean in because here we go. I'm going to start off with how I tested. I tested magazines. I said, I'm going to run 3 ads with you. And if I get X amount of responses, I will continue. I'll sign up for 7. And if my ads continue to produce, I'll sign up for 13. Every magazine that I advertise in every month for 12 months, but they usually have a buyer's guide, and that's what makes them offer 13 magazines per year. So I want to advertise. And I realize that sometimes people, they stop advertising, they can't pay, whatever the case may be. What gave me the idea was a magazine called me up and says, hey, Stan, we have this space that's available and we don't want it to be blank. Do you want to run another ad? So, being the skinflint and stingy person I am, maybe greedy, I said, yeah, what's the discount? So then they told me the discount and I wasn't too impressed by that. So I then realized that they're calling me up a few days in advance and he has only a few days to fill that space, all right? So what I did was this. I sent all of the advertising materials he would need for a quarter, a third, and a half a page. I didn't want a full page. I also created some ground rules. I want to be in the back half of the magazine. I want to be on the outside edge because people usually pick up the magazines and they read the right side and they flip through them. They get to the front, it slips out of their thumb, and people don't read a lot of the ads in the front of the magazine. But here's the killer. I sent all the advertising materials to him. So I told him, I said, tell you what, on the last day, if you don't have anybody, you call me and I will fill in your space. And I'm going to pay you, I forget what the margin was, or what the rate was. Let's say it was like 25%. So if they don't like empty spaces, it makes them look bad. Better 25% than no percent. So I told them that. You are not going to believe how many times I got a call and he was saying, hey, Stan, this is the last day. Can you fill that third of a page? All right, 25% is your cost. You betcha. So sometimes I had one ad that I bumped up from a quarter to a third or a quarter to a half. Sometimes I ran 2 ads in that magazine. All right, I got noticed. That's why I said I was everywhere that people were. I made sure I was there. Now remember something. The ad manager gets a commission every month. So he wants regularity and consistency. And my company was in front of everybody all the time. Now because of this, I end up talking to my ad manager most months. You wouldn't believe how many people are going to advertise and for whatever reason they don't. Or maybe they move up. So we all move up the chain. He talked to me a lot. And then I said, okay, I want to know about this, I want to know about that. Can I have a list? Part of the customer list? Sure. An email list? Sure. We became friends. And then friends do favors for other friends. So you want to get to know these ad managers. Now, the best was we go to trade shows. I get to see my friend at the show. He goes around, he talks to other companies. The ones that maybe aren't advertising. He says, oh, Stan over there, he's advertising. And he always mentions me and, my company name. So now I have someone who's out there preaching my company name. It's hard to beat. There are 2 people you want as your friend at trade shows. The ad manager for the magazine and at the association booth, they have someone who wants people to sign up to join the association. Those 2 people see everybody in the trade show. If you didn't leave your booth, the 2 of them are out there talking about you. I hope you do leave your trade booth, but you understand where I'm coming from. They were great. And as a result, I always advertised with the ad manager, and he also did other things for us as well. Most of them have a new products buyer's guide. He couldn't say, hey, Stan, I can't put you in there every month, okay? But I was in about 6 months out of 13. And when it came to the buyer's guide, you betcha, I got premium position. Why? We're friends. I advertise with them every month. So that's the way it worked out. That tip right there is gold. So again, they had all my creatives on file. Calls me up last minute, like 3 o'clock on a Thursday. They have to have it cut off that night. They go to press on Friday. He knew he could call me up. Last minute, I would fill that vacancy and basically help him save his bacon maybe. But he also did me a favor. I cannot tell you how important that is and how good that is for him and the magazine. And he always had me as a safety valve. So he knew there weren't going to be any empty spaces. Thank goodness he didn't call me up and say, hey, Stan, we have 5 advertisers that dropped out this month. Can you advertise 5 times? Maybe it's fortunate for me, because I might have said, oh yeah, 5 ads in 1 magazine. I'm going to dominate that magazine. Maybe I should have done that in second thought. Because I'm sure people would have called me up and said, Stan, I haven't exaggerated, obviously. Stan, every page I looked at was your ad. What's going on over there? It certainly would have brought us a lot of PR, and maybe they would have written a story about us. Anyway, that is Trades Magazine Gold. Now, if you're getting any value out of this, please share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It helps the channel. And I promise you, I have more insider tips and tricks because I had to figure out everything possible to sell my little product, which is this head cleaning card used to clean credit card readers. So everywhere you go, the rest of the week, every time you pull out your credit card, I was there. Or if you use any money, all right, gaming, wagering, lottery, vending machines, Coke machines, I was there. I figured out the code for U.S. money, so I'm the one that invented the cleaning card used to clean the magnetic reader head that reads your money, so it knows how to read a denomination, a 1 from a 10. So I had a dollar bill reader cleaning card as well. So I was out there, and I want to help everybody I possibly can with lots of tips and tricks. So this is BossMakers Academy. If I can help you out, let me know. Sign up below or follow the link below and sign up, and I'll put you on the Boss newsletter. That's where a lot of insider tips and tricks are. Again, this is BossMakers Academy, and I'm Stan. Bye now.